It was an extraordinary and historic message from the House. I'm Laura Podesta with details on what happens next after a vote to condemn President Trump's comments.
The 60-acre Story Mill Park is set to open on Saturday, but it's not just another park for the city of Bozeman.
A film production company out of Missoula has expressed interest in purchasing the former Northwestern Energy building here in Butte.
And we'll have that story for you in just a moment. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Matt Elwell has our forecast here in just a few moments. Our top story, as Laura Podesta mentioned a few moments ago, the House of Representatives last night voted to condemn what they say is a racist comment from President Trump.
Yeah, those comments made about a group of female members of Congress. Laura Podesta reports this morning for CBS News.
The House approved a measure condemning President Trump's tweets about 4 congresswomen of color, collectively known as the Squad. The president's tweets urged the women to go back where they came from, even though all but one was born in the U.S.
These comments from the White House are disgraceful and disgusting.
The 4-page resolution, quote, strongly condemns President Trump's racist comments that have legitimized and increased fear and hatred of new Americans and people of color.
At the highest level of government, there's no room for racism.
The 240-187 vote closely followed party lines, with only 4 Republicans and 1 independent in favor. Afterward, the president took to Twitter to praise GOP members who voted against the measure, writing, "Great to see how unified the Republican Party was on today's vote." The mostly symbolic resolution now moves to the Senate, where no action is expected to be taken.
We all know politics is a contact sport, but it's about time we lowered the temperature.
Earlier Tuesday, Mr. Trump was asked where the Squad members should go if they left the U.S.
It's up to them. Go wherever they want, or they can stay. But they should love our country.
The drama on Capitol Hill continued after last night's vote. Once the resolution passed, Texas Democrat Al Green filed articles of impeachment against the president. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Now, the House Democratic leaders can table the impeachment articles that were submitted last night, but doing so would expose them to criticism from the party's left wing. They could also refer the articles to the House Judiciary Committee to consider, or simply allow a vote on that matter to proceed. So more to follow on all of those proceedings from Congress yesterday.
On CBS This Morning, coming up at 7.
Correct.
You betcha.
Yep.
Matt, we've been talking about how wet it is, but today it looks like we're going to maybe dry out a little bit.
It looks pretty good. Now, we're going to have some clouds to deal with, a little bit of wind, but overall, this isn't too bad. I think our temperatures are going to be a little cooler than average as well, but early on, a little patchy fog across the area. Daytime highs should stay into the 70s. It will be a breezy afternoon, but fairly dry. Not only today, but as we head into the weekend as well. We're going to break it all down for you, talk about a slight warm-up on the way. It's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. 6:33 now on this Wednesday. The 60-acre Story Mill Park set to open on Saturday, but it's not your average park.
The city of Bozeman has been waiting a long time for it, and MTN's Emma Hamilton tells us why this park is so different.
We started this project in 2012. It was actually kicked off by the residents of Bozeman when they passed their first ever Parks and Trails bond. I think it was a recognition by the people who live here that as Bozeman grows, our in-town, close-to-home parks and trails have to keep pace, because that's really essential infrastructure to maintain our quality of life.
7 years in the making, and finally the City of Bozeman and the Trust for Public Lands are able to open this space to the community. From the garden to the nature sanctuary, trails, and everything else the park has to offer, it's much more than your typical park.
This playground is designed with local, our native animals in mind, and so it's not just a park you would find in another state. And so I know that all the kids of Bozeman are going to be so proud to be here.
This massive park is not just another park here in Bozeman, but rather a new community space that was all made possible by the community itself.
A community is going to love its parks and use its parks if they design their parks. And so there were, over the number of years, there were workshops and focus groups, and literally hundreds of people who live here, over 20 local nonprofits, all brought their expertise and their vision, and the park that opens on Saturday is really a reflection of that community input.
The City of Bozeman, Trust for Public Lands, and many private donors have made this community dream become a reality. Reporting in Bozeman, Emma Hamilton, MTN News.
6:34 now. The Montana Department of Transportation says one of its main big road construction projects focuses on an area near downtown Bozeman.
People living along Rouse Avenue are getting a chance to hear all about that project in an open public house that took place last night at Beal Park. MDT says in mid-September, Rouse Avenue between Main Street and Oak Street will turn into a construction zone, including several detours. Now, part of the project includes widening the road for more traffic and installing new box culverts, especially near Peach Street. It is not only the project that they have in the works, but crews are nearly finished with the construction at Love Lane and Huffine west of town. MDT reminds drivers to slow down in construction zones and watch out for road crews.
Obey the posted speed limit. I mean, that's safety for not only the traveling public, but the contractor and everybody working on the project. Be patient.
The construction on Rouse is expected to be finished up in the fall of 2020. As for Love Lane and Huffine, the lights are expected to come in early August. I think we have a correction on that. I think the road construction is supposed to start late fall.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Meantime, just a little bit after 3 years of looking for a new owner for the old Northwestern Energy building, officials in Butte say they may have an interested buyer.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
MTN's John Amy tells us who that might be and why.
Butte leaders are optimistic they might have a serious buyer for the former Northwestern Energy building.
It's somebody that's excited to be here and excited to use the building.
Bitterroot Gateway Development of Missoula made a proposal in Butte last week that the large building on 40 East Broadway would be a perfect fit for the film production company Montana Studios.
They're excited to do something in Butte. They told us that there's going to be a lot of blue-collar jobs. Filmmaking is blue-collar jobs. There's a lot of work behind the scenes. And that's what we're looking for.
There were 3 proposals submitted to Butte, but Sorich said the Montana Studios one was more appealing because they plan to use the entire 100,000 square foot building.
We are going to get somebody in there that wants to be in there. It's just not going to come in and tear it apart or do a poor job of developing and walk away from it.
The county is eager to find a serious buyer for this building because it comes at considerable expense maintaining this large structure.
There's some associated costs of power bills and there's security and there's it's starting to need some work, some TLC, because it hasn't been occupied in 3 years. Butte Suburb Bow is not in the business of being a landlord. We're in the business of, the government.
The Butte Council of Commissioners will decide at a later date which proposal to accept. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
This is pretty exciting stuff. I love that.
True.
And the developer for the Montana Studios will present the proposal before the Butte's Council of Commissioners at their July 24th meeting at 7:30 that night.
More to follow on that for sure.
Certainly.
Also, National Parks trying to come up with a solution to aquatic invasive species. Now Grand Teton and Yellowstone are teaming up with some of the best noses in the business to help make a difference.
Tobias, the Yellow Lab, will be hitting the trails of Yellowstone starting this Friday to assist in the AIS boat inspections. He'll be sniffing out zebra and quagga mussels, which are known to threats for our national ecosystem. And Jax, the Belgian pup, didn't quite get the cut as the Green Beret, but instead his love for the detection after being adopted in 2017. He'll be hitting the road to Grand Teton National Park starting on Saturday. Non-native mussels were detected in Montana in 2016, and since then the pressure has been on to prevent more invasive species from getting into our waterways. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. Using their tools wisely. That's fantastic stuff. I love this story too, by the way. Young adult cancer survivors flew from Bozeman to Helena yesterday just to get some coffee. It was all part of the 6th annual Cancer Survivor Flight Camp.
This is great, and they ran into their partnership by Summit Aviation and Eagle Mount Bozeman. The annual flight camp gives campers the opportunity to learn how to fly airplanes.
Yeah, that includes performing their own takeoffs and landings. President Summit Aviation Ben Walton said he's proud to get the campers behind the stick, show them the meaning of the sky's the limit.
So I thought, well, maybe we could expose other people to this that maybe didn't have a career path to flying or didn't want to pursue flying, but it's an experience that is really a life-changing experience to just take the controls of an airplane. And
24 people have gone through the program so far. The camp culminates with a graduation flight. They'll fly through Yellowstone Grand Tetons. I am pleased to say I was out there at the airport for the very first of those flights. I'm so happy they continued that program.
Cool.
It's awesome.
And the kids have such a blast.
They do, and the folks at Summit just absolutely love it as well. They get to share what it is they love, their passions as well.
What a fun way to switch it up for their routine,
Yep.
your routine. It's just a different
It's an awesome program.
Group of people all
Keep
together.
up the good work.
Yeah, we really love
big
it.
thumbs
Way to
up.
go to Eagle Mountain as well.
You betcha.
It is time for a quick break.